Hello everyone. Let me bring on Katie. Katie, as soon as you join the live video, I will be able to add you. So if you guys tuned in yesterday on our story, we both did a little bit of a poll to see what you guys wanted us to talk about. So we had put two topics on there, and it seems like the big winner was, oh, here she is, was us talking about apprentices, apprenticeships, and how we do that at Moon & Co. So who better than Katie,
Hey.
to interview for this, because she has a really, really awesome apprentice program at Main & Co., which is her salon. So before we get to it, let's just do some introductions. So hi, I'm Abigail. Katie. I have been doing hair for about 6 years. I have been doing NBR for the last, I started in 2015, but I've really been focusing on it really the last 2-3 years. I think we both kind of started around the same time. But I started in Troutdale and then migrated over to West Lynn to Main & Co., which is Katie's salon. So I'll segue over to you, Katie. So go tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been doing hair, your specialties.
Okay, so I've been doing hair probably about 10 years, maybe close to 11, which is crazy. I've owned Main & Co. for a little over a year and a half now. Before that, I was at Malva, where I started our apprenticeship program, kind of just like a trial run, which was really awesome. So I've had apprentices consistently for the last 3 years, probably. I've had 7 in total, and 5 have stayed with us at the salon. So it's just been really cool. The cool thing about our apprenticeship program is it's definitely customized, I would say. It totally depends on the stylist. And yes, all of our apprentices are licensed. They have to be licensed.
Yes. They can't touch you if they're not licensed.
Yes. I think that's always such a big question with our clients. They're just like, so are you a hairdresser? Are you in school? They always ask our apprentices this, and they've already graduated, and some of them have actually been doing hair and have just decided that they want to start at an apprenticeship just to kind of hone in on some skills. So yeah.
I think though that in some states, like I think in Arizona, you can apprentice in beauty school. So maybe that's why people ask that. But as far as in Oregon, you cannot touch somebody, like touch their heads, unless you are licensed, you finish school.
Yeah. So I am originally from Illinois, and when I was going through school, I was an assistant. You can practice under usually your owner's license, but here I do believe you have to be licensed.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm working currently with 2 apprentices at Main & Co. We share one of them, and it's awesome. Previously, before I came to Main & Co., though, I had my sister apprentice me for a little bit, which was hysterical because she's my older sister, and I know she's gonna hop on here and say, but that was always really interesting because it's just a too weird of a dynamic, like the family business thing, especially because she had been doing hair longer than me, and then she got out of it, so she wanted to kind of get back into hair, and then apprenticed, and then ended up realizing this isn't for me. And then I had another assistant who was fantastic, and I loved working with her. But the problem was I was a booth renter, and I didn't have another station to give her. So after almost a year of her apprenticing, it was like, okay, see you later, good luck.
Yeah.
And it just ends. So that was kind of a hard, I kind of was like, do I want an apprentice now? Because I felt like I put all this in, and then I just was like, hope you're doing good. And I like seeing the growth that you have with your apprentices. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your program and how that works?
Yeah, so that's definitely something that I kind of learned early in the beginning, because I had an apprentice before I even went to Malva, and that was kind of the problem is like, all right, I have her here, I have her doing things, like what's the end goal? Because they need a light at the end of the tunnel, especially just, I mean, I started off as an apprentice, and when I was apprenticing, it was back when, and honestly still, this is probably still going on, but this is back when all you were doing was ripping foils, folding towels, washing, and maybe you'd be really lucky to get to tone someone, but you would have no idea what that meant. Like I remember when my owner said, go tone this person, I'm like, what's that? And I had graduated school too, and I still was like, what?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, just go do it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, fine.
Especially like touching people for a while and then having and like that's scary. It's a super uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah. So when I first started with Lynn and Karen, it was really just because, so we were in Malva. Malva is a place where it's just a lot of suites, and you run your own business out through this little cubicle. And I knew that that was kind of just my half step into trying to open up my own salon. So I always knew that for them, while they were apprenticing, right then in that moment, the goal was to make them full-time stylists. And so they were apprenticing, I think for about 6 to 8 months. And then they went on to being a full-time stylist. And I think around like 10 months was when I finally was able to open the salon. So it's really just, I feel like when you have an apprentice, you have to be very real with them and know your goals and know their goals and just have that open communication with them. I feel like as a salon owner, especially now, we've gotten to the point where we can't really offer anyone a chair anymore because we're a 6-chair salon at this moment and we have 8 stylists. 3 of them are apprentices right now. So what we're doing is Abby and I were sharing a chair with 2 apprentices. And the reality of that situation is that by the time they're ready to be done with their apprenticeship, they might not get a chair because we don't have any chairs left. So I think it's just having that open form of communication. I'm one of those people that I want it to be a win-win situation, which is why with our apprenticeship, while they are apprenticing us 2 days a week, they are also working behind the chair 2 days a week and taking clients because I want them to grow their business.
And are they paying rent at all during this time, or are they?
No. So we are an independent contractor salon. So all my stylists are independent. They run their own business under the Main & Co. umbrella. Like that's our brand. But aside of that, they have their own business. So that's the other thing too, is that I wanted to bring people on that were going to want to grow themselves, you know, because I feel like, I don't know, sometimes, and again, I've never actually, well, yeah, I have worked in a commission salon, but I feel like sometimes when you're working in a commission salon, you don't lean on yourself very much. You don't learn that independence. And for being an independent contractor, I want to have stylists that want that independence, that want to run their own business, that want to grow their own business, that are motivating themselves.
Yeah.
And so that's why I do it that way, because I mean, you have a chair 2 days a week. That's how you pay yourself. You bring in your own clients. And eventually we get to that point where you build that trust with me and the other stylists, and we're going to start sending you some of our clients, which I feel like we're starting to get there with our new assistants right now.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Already,
yeah.
People. So what's awesome about that is so so basically they come in, they apprentice you, they're with you right next to you 2 days a week, and then the days you're not there, in our case they're using our station, but in the past they have had their own station that they use for 2 days a week. So you apprentice for 2 days, you get a chair for 2 days, and in that time your apprenticing days, you're learning so much and you're getting hands-on. I mean, they do everything with us, like they're coloring extensions, they're washing hair, they're washing extensions, they're applying color on clients, styling, everything. And then in return, after they get to practice and utilize all this knowledge, they get to now take clients 2 days a week and make, essentially, they could schedule 4 color clients that day and make way more than they would if we were paying them hourly.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's like a huge game changer, because I had never like heard of that kind of system before. And I think that's better for them, because it's like saying, hey, you're not going to be handed clients, but if you are really learning and growing with us, those clients are going to come to you because they're going to see that you're learning everything that we're teaching you. And then now you have the opportunity to make as much money as you want, essentially, those 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I just, I just admire that stylist so much more, that will push themselves and grow themselves like on their own. I mean, of course we're there to help, but at the same time, I want to see you like go after it, like go get it. I'm giving you 2 days a week to take as many clients as you can, like do it.
Yeah. So how long do they typically apprentice?
So everyone's different. It totally depends on how fast you build your book. So like with Lynn, she was super fast. She has a huge community network of like friends, family, and then their friends and their family. And so she was, I think, 6 months, and Lynn is just killing it always. And then I think Natalie was probably about just like right under a year. She just went full time in February, and I think she started mid-February last year.
Okay.
So it's definitely something that I'm always communicating with my apprentices, is that I want to make sure that by the time you're ready to go full-time stylist, you know, you're ready to pay rent and you're not feeling like you're struggling to make rent.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing when you switch from an apprentice to an independent contractor, is that you weren't paying rent before.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be paying rent. And we do weekly rent. So that was always something that I wanted to make sure, like, are you 3 to 4 weeks booked out? Like, do you have enough clients coming in that you can sustain this?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think you just have to be open and honest with your apprentice and always communicating those things. It can't be like an uncomfortable thing to talk about money.
Yeah. Yeah. So on average, it's like a 6 month to a year, depending on them and their growth. People might go longer. I think a big factor too is like they can be super amazing behind the chair, but if they're not utilizing their marketing and their social media and like showing it, nobody's gonna know.
This is so true.
Yeah. So I think that's been huge too. And I feel like everyone at Main & Co is really good about their Instagram, social media. And Main & Co has like the best lighting. Those windows, it's so nice. Man. So I feel like we get really good shots of all of our blondes and all of our clients. So with the apprentices, so what type of services do they perform, both like with you and then on their 2 days they're on their own?
Yeah, so I mean, mostly I am an extension only stylist. I do still have a few color clients, and yes, I am doing color with my extensions. But generally, when you're doing an extension client, you're pretty much doing 2 clients. You're doing their hair and then their extension hair. Mm-hmm. So generally, what I like to do is my apprentice and I will be removing their extensions for a move-up appointment. And while we're removing their extensions, we're having a consultation with them. So the 3 of us are talking about what our plan is for the color. Like, what do we want to do? What needs to be done? Does anything need to be done? And after we have that consultation, my apprentice and I will walk back over to the color bar and